So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by Carolina Perez. She's the drummer for New York death metal band Hypoxia. And if you know the meaning of that word, it means like to be, you get like, you get short of breath. And I
It's
can
a
tell you,
lack of oxygen in the brain.
lack of oxygen in the brain. And I can tell you, when you listen to this album, it's so pummeling that probably oxygen won't go to your brain because of the pummeling that you receive in this record. So Carolina, first of all, thank you for joining. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm great. Yeah, I'm really excited about this upcoming release for Hypoxia.
Yeah, it's awesome that first of all that for you being a female drummer, because there's a lot of cool female drummers and they need more recognition. I remember the first female drummer I think I saw was for Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, different style, but I remember seeing that Are You Gonna Go My Way, and I thought, it's awesome.
She was a huge influence for me as Cindy Blackman.
Yeah, she's great. I don't know if she's still playing drums for him, but I know on that time the drums on that record were great. So Carolina, first of all, let's talk about like how did you got into metal, especially how did you get into metal and especially drumming?
Well, I'm from Colombia originally. I was raised there, and I came to the States when I was 15. So when I started, I was still in Colombia. I started with punk, and my brother was a guitar player, so we formed a band together. And I just wanted to play drums, and I asked my mom if she could pay for some lessons, and she did, and I really loved it. And I had like, it's like a natural thing for me, and then I just kept doing it. I really learned. I loved learning some like new songs, and it just it was like empowering and fun still to this day. So with metal, I was like a rebel, so like I liked anything that was heavy and had distortion, and like I used to have like a shaved head.
Back in the day. So what was like the first like song that you learned on the drums?
It was punk. It was like actually punk from Medellin, from where I'm from, because it was just like tupa tupa, it was easy. So yeah, it was just, I don't even remember the name, but after I learned a couple of like punk songs, which was just the same rhythm, I learned like Deftones, because I really like Deftones. That when Deftones came out, I was
favorite band.
It was so good. I was a teenager when they came out, and it was just like an instant connection for me. And then I just started going heavier from then. When I heard double bass, I was like, what is this? And I really liked Sepultura too, being in South America. So
yeah, no, they're a huge band, influence on everyone. So you're going to release your third album in February called Defiance. So I was reading that for this album, you have a few member changes. You have like a new guitar player, new bass player. How did that change the core sound of the band?
Well, we've been through a lot of members. It's really hard keeping members in like death metal, because you have to be very dedicated, and life happens. So we've been through a lot, but Mike Poquion, he was also in our previous album in Abhorrent Disease. He did the bass for that album too.
The 2019 one,
yeah. We've never been able to play live with him because he used to live in Ukraine, actually.
Wow.
So yeah. But he recently moved back to the States, so he's here now. So we might be able to like get together now, but everything we've done with him has been remote interactions. I've actually never met him in person. So when we did the couple of shows we did with Abhorrent Disease, we just had another bass player fill in because he couldn't do it. But he's an amazing bass player. And Ryan was also, he didn't do the recording for the previous album, but he was part of the shows. He also played shows with us back then in 2019 when we released Abhorrent Disease, and then we weren't able to do any more shows because I moved out. I'm no longer in New York City. I'm in Ohio now, so it's harder for us to do shows. But we did get together and practice with him, and he he's been part of Hypoxia for quite a bit. He's really good friends with Mike. So it was easy because we already played shows with him, so it was not as difficult to.
Yeah, because for the basis, you saying that you never met him. That's kind of wild that you.
Yeah.
Like maybe the first time you meet him is in a show. So yeah, it's
it's crazy, but he used to play with Mike in Vile, so he's played with Mike in the past. So it was an instant yes for us when he recommended him. We're like, oh, absolutely,
Yeah, awesome. So for you, like the drumming, like beside you already mentioned Cindy from Lenny Kravitz. What other like drummers inspired you, and especially the way you play?
Well, I have a lot of influences. My biggest influences are, I want to say, Pete Sandolo, Igor Cavalera, Steve Ashim. Like extreme metal drummers, because Gene Hoglan.
Oh yeah,
Nicholas Barker.
Yeah.
But I also I recently started following this insane female drummer. Her name is Sarah Thor, and she's like Buddy Rich good. Like, she's amazing. There's just a lot of really good drummers out there. I'm always looking for someone that just captures, that does something genuine. For me, for my own playing, I really like playing everything. Like, I like a good challenge and just learning something new every day. So it's really hard for me to pinpoint just one drummer, so it's like.
No. You mentioned a variety of different styles of drummers. I don't know the woman that you mentioned. I know I've seen there's like this female drummer that does like Instagram videos or something, and I don't know if that's her because I can't remember her name, but she's really good.
She does a lot of Instagram videos. Yeah, there's a lot of female Instagram drummers right now. Like I don't remember their names. So, the one I follow the most is Sarah Thor, because she captioned. But Luana from Crypta is really good too. She's great. She's very how do you call it? Creative when it comes to doing fills, and she has like her own style too.
Yeah, and we were talking offline that actually this Saturday, I'm actually seeing Crypta play in Puerto Rico because they're gonna be playing. So I'm super pumped for that one.
I saw them here last year. They played here. I went to the Pittsburgh show. I've known Fernanda since she used to play Nervosa. So she, I admire all of those ladies, and they're really. I'm happy to see what they're doing, and I'm gonna see them too, because I work the 70,000 tons of metal every year. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'll see them there.
Yeah, that I've never been to that 70 tons of metal. I'm guessing it's like a very unique experience. How's the experience of that?
It's very unique. I've been working it. I think this is gonna be my 8th year doing it. I do the merchandise area. We have a team that does it, and it's like we're all really close friends and we have fun. So we go to as many shows as we're allowed to, or after or before the store opens, we can catch. But if it's a band that I won't see, I can escape and maybe watch 1 minute. But it's very unique because it's people from all around the world. They're really good at picking all genres of metal.
Yeah.
They bring everything. So it's like a huge metal festival, and it's like the Caribbean. This year we're going to Dominican Republic, Puerto Plata. So it's always awesome because you have a day off somewhere in the Caribbean, and then you're back, and then it's like each band plays twice, so you get to see you have the opportunity to see them twice, or if you miss them the first time, you can catch them the second time. So
yeah, no, it sounds like a cool experience. Unfortunately, every time I was leaving Miami, because I know they left from Miami, but my ex wasn't into metal, so she's like, if I'm not going to a cruise of metal. I'm like, if we're going.
But you don't see, that's the thing. She missed out because it's fun, because there's barely any kids, because it's mostly adults. So
I'm sure, yeah.
It's fun. Even if you don't watch any bands, it's still fun because it's a bunch of just people that want to have fun.
I know maybe I can still maybe at least go one time to have that experience. So Something that I think is pretty unique. I think now in the years, like back in the day, like females in metal was like less, like there were less, but I think it's now more, and we have a lot of female singers. And I like it that sometimes, like for Crypta, just say Crypta, and I hate it when they label like, oh, it's a female fronted band, or they have to like just it's a band, Crypta, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think about, like the evolution of women in metal?
Hey, I mean, I started when there was no internet, so you didn't know how many more women were out there in the metal scene. Like, so we've always been here, but we haven't been as many as guys. I guess testosterone takes a big big part of it on it. But I also have another band that's an all female death metal band,
Awesome.
Castrator. Yeah.
Man, I
So
love the name.
thank you. So yeah, so we know we go through it every, we are also labeled as an all female death metal band. But I mean, it's kind of necessary just to kind of break that stereotype that, we're just musicians, we don't want to be labeled as a gender. Just want to play music. I don't care. Like Hypoxia, I mean, like I play with a bunch of super talented dudes. Like, as long as you can play your instrument, I'll play with you,
Yeah. Have you ever had like a bad experience, like of some jerk like thinking that you're there like to tune the drums or something like that?
So many. As a matter of fact, with Hypoxia, when we played Rock al Parque in 2019, we were going backstage to play, and the security guard didn't let me. He said no girlfriends allowed, and I said I'm the drummer, and he didn't believe me, and I had to go get my bandmates to vouch for me. Wow. Even though I had my laminate and I had everything.
Well, yeah, I remember that I remember because it's caught on tape when Green Day's bassist was hit because they hit the security guard didn't know he was part of the band, and he lost a teeth. At least he didn't lose a teeth, but
yeah. No, I mean, I was pretty mad because I was like, what the hell, but yeah, no, it's happened so many times. I mean, so many times where people come up to me and tell me I'm good for female, like, oh, you're a good drummer for being a female. I'm like, okay, like that's kind of like, that's just totally disrespectful, it's just.
First of all, females and men, we all have hands and we all have feet. So we need to play the drums.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, it happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
But I think it's more now accepted, and we have everyone's represented.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta just ignore. You gotta ignore the ignorance.
Yeah, no, I agree. Plus, also you're Hispanic, so we've gotten stuff like as Hispanics, like maybe like this music is not for you, or something like that. But like we said, we have so many bands right now, and especially you mentioned obviously Sepultura, which is kind of like the first band from like Latin America to really like hit it big in a way, and they're still huge. What do you think of they're doing the final like tour?
I saw.
I like Sepultura. There's people that's like, no, when Max left and Egon left, it's not Sepultura, but they had some very without them. So
no, they're a great band. I mean, Derek, the singer, has been in Sepultura longer than Max and Igor were. So
he has. So it's pretty wild. So I'm gonna show the artwork for the album, which is pretty awesome. So here we have Defiance and the artwork, and I read that the person who did this artwork also worked with the Black Dahlia Murder and some other death metals, and it's pretty kick-ass. So tell me a little bit about this artwork.
So his name is Dimorph or Derek, but his like social media name is Dimorph, and he's amazing. Like, we've been working with him. He's done all of our 3 album covers for.
They look very similar, the album covers,
yeah, they're all his work. They're all different subjects, but they're all amazing. And so we're really lucky to have been able to work with him 3 times now. We got him through our first label, which was Ultimate Massacre, which is a European label, and one of the owners of that label is Serge, who's really good friends with him, so he recommended him, and ever since we've loved working with him, and everything he does is just on point, and we really like how he gets the brutality that we're looking for.
Yeah, anyone who looks at this album cover, I think it's self-explanatory. This is brutal death metal.
Yeah, we're not fucking around.
No, you're not. It's really the details, because like if people want to see more of the details for this album cover, they need to see the lyric video that is out right now for the song.
Yes.
I think it's something black. Oh, let me get the name right. Bleed for Blasphemy.
Yeah,
the song Bleed for Blasphemy, which is like a lyric video, and you zoom in and out and you see more of this artwork. So yeah, it's a pretty cool album artwork. I really enjoy it, and the details on it.
Thank you. Yeah, we wanted it to be like kind of like a public execution, but not like usually it's like with the church, like the church is involved, but this is the actual government, and it's just like back, like old school looking,
You know what? Something, the church stuff has been, it's almost so cliche now. like when you're like, oh, here's another song about like Catholic religion. So it's evil. It's like it's being done so much. So
Yep.
I'm thinking having it be like the government is the government can be more evil.
Oh yeah. And it's also like, I mean, it's natural for metal bands to sing about like against the church, because that's part of why we're so rebellious, because we don't want to be part of that systematic what do you call it, like indoctrination. So it's natural for all of us metalheads to want to sing about anti-church stuff, but yeah, it's definitely been overdone.
Yeah, no, but the album cover, it's pretty awesome, and I listened to the album. It's
awesome.
37 minutes, and it doesn't let you go. The only the only time that you can feel like it's overture, which is like the album opener. It's really like an intro, and it's like more pretty music, and then you're
so Carlos, the guitar player, the main guitar player, Carlos, or Dirty, as we call him, that's his nickname. He always wants to have an acoustic piece in every album. So if you listen to all our albums, every album has an acoustic piece.
And to have it in the beginning is awesome.
Why do
you call him Dirty?
There's in the beginning and there's at the end. There's the
overture and there's
the finale. Yeah, so it like puts the whole thing together.
Yeah, it does. It goes full circle. So why do you call Carlos Dirty? That's interesting.
Because he's a total character. And back in the day, like, he's also from Colombia. He used to love DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles.
Oh, they're awesome.
So, yeah, that was like his favorite band, and he used to like play every song and every instrument. So like that became his nickname, Dirty, because of DRI.
Oh yeah, that band is a classic hardcore band. They played here, I think, years ago. So yeah, they're classic. So for you in this album, what song for you was the hardest to play drums for?
Oof, all of them. They're all very challenging.
I know, I heard it.
Yeah, they're all super challenging. I had to work very, very hard on all of them. They all present their own specific challenge for me. Like, but if I had to choose, I think Pathway to Karen, because that song starts like super mellow and then it gets super heavy. It's like the dynamics are super important in that song, and I think that's the second or third song without counting the overture. So it's like the second song.
The first song, Pathway to Sharon. Yeah.
Isn't it Bleed for Blasphemy? No.
Yeah, after Blessed for Blasphemy, the first song is Pathway to Sharon. So yeah,
Yes,
it follows
yes,
that.
yes. So that song is super challenging because like the groove is super important. You know, sometimes drummers or people think that the fastest song is the hardest, but no, the hardest song is the grooviest song because you have to be able to incorporate that groove and connect with the actual riff, you know.
Yeah. And I know, yeah, I agree, like I don't know like how, it sounds, like relentless. So I'm sure that it is. So you're releasing this with a label called I like the name of the label.
Self-made God.
Self-Made God. Yeah, you're with Self-Made God on the 23rd of February, and you're gonna have like a CDs, limited vinyl. So yeah, this is the first time I've heard of this record label. How did that came into fruition with this new record?
So the name of the person that runs the label is Carol, and I believe he's in Poland, and he's worked with Mike in the past, and he's good friends with Mike, so Mike made it possible. We shopped around for labels, but he's the only one that wanted to work with us, and we're like excited. We did our previous record with him as well, for Indices. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's really good to have a label because it's so much work.
No, yeah, I've talked to bands that do it. They do everything themselves, but it's a lot of like, what it's people think that being in a band is just plain and fun, but what the planning, the shipping, all this stuff, it's a full-time job.
And not only that, it's a job that doesn't pay you because you invest so much money recording, like you spend a lot of time. I come to the studio as much as I can, and I have to play for hours and hours and hours, and that's time that I'm not getting paid for. And then you go to a studio, you spend thousands of dollars, you're not getting paid back for any of that money. It's like the metal. That's what I'm saying. It's really hard to keep members because that's all involved in being in a death metal band. You're not getting paid for any of that. It's got to be your true passion. It's got to be something that you just want to do and put out because it's not, you should never do it for money.
No, you picked the wrong genre.
Yeah.
For that. Even though like there's like musicians in other stuff that are not making that much money, and for an death metal, usually like brutal old school death metal has always been like an underground type of music. Like there's people, because there's you have your casual like metal fans that are basically the metal fans that listen to like the bands that everyone knows, like Metallica or something like that. But then there's people that I like everything. I can listen to the most alternative thing, shoegaze, to harder stuff. It just depends on the mood. Because I can't, like, for example, the Hypoxia album, I'm not gonna put that at 7:30 a.m. in the morning while I'm having my coffee.
Yeah, but like if you go to the gym, you can have a really nice workout,
for the gym, yes. But not for unless you really truly want to wake up. So the record, it sounds great. And how has you have that single out? Like, what are the plans before? Are you gonna release like a second single before the album is out?
So the next single is gonna be through Decibel, I believe, January 30th. So pretty soon, in like 8 days, and that's gonna be Pathway to Sharon, so that song. And then we're working on doing a music video, which we're gonna get together in February after I get back from 70,000 Tons of Metal. We're gonna go to New York and we're gonna shoot a video, and then we're gonna have like a listening party on the day of the release, on the 23rd. Yeah, we're not playing a show, but we're having a release party at Duff's, which is a legendary metal bar. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We definitely want to play like big festivals, so it would get like, or like even if it's not a big festival, but like we've got like an invitation to go play Puerto Rico, we'll totally go. It's just
here in Puerto Rico we have a good metal scene, and we have all styles. So if it would, I know some of the promoters here, because usually the promoters that doing metal bands here are in bands. So they bring, like, if they discover a band, they'll bring it. And I think I'm the only YouTuber in Puerto Rico that I think
Wow.
like because I haven't seen any other that
Yeah.
talks to like metal bands and stuff. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm sure if you come here, people like their
Yeah.
Google.
I love Puerto Rico. Like I went there in 2019 for just for vacation. Oh,
Yeah.
and I stayed in Loíza, and I went to Carolina, and then Old San Juan, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, people here from Puerto Rico are right now, Colombia, people from Puerto Rico are loving to go to Colombia. I haven't been to Colombia, but I need to visit because
Yeah.
so many pictures are, everyone's like, it's great, the food is great. So, because I think a lot of people think Colombia and they think the 1980s
No,
and Narcos. I'm like, that was like 40 fucking years ago.
yeah. No, it's very changed now. It's
It's
amazing.
a
Colombia is
different
great.
thing. It's a
Yeah.
different country. It's like with Puerto Rico too. They think of like different things. Like I don't know how many times I've told someone I'm from Puerto Rico and they asked me if I know Ricky Martin, and I'll be
Yeah,
like,
well, what I did notice is that it was really it's sad how wrecked it was from the hurricanes, you know?
oh yes, yeah. Puerto Rico's still recovering from the
Yeah,
hurricanes that we have, but we're resilient people. So yeah,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
we're doing better now. But yeah, awesome. So Carolina, it's been a blast to talk with you. You're super cool, and hopefully I'll get to see Hypoxia play live because it would be a good show. And best
Yeah,
of luck to you. Have fun in the 70 tons of metal,
thank
and
you.
best of success with the album. I'm gonna put the link for the
Thank you.
pre-order. So people who wanna pre-order the album, the vinyl. How many variants do you have?
I think it's only gonna be one variant, and it's only 100 copies, so
So
it's very limited, extremely limited.
yeah. Oh my, I talked to bands. They're like, oh, we have like 7 different variants. I'm like,
Yeah,
that costs a lot of money.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Some labels are willing to like take that risk, some are not. So maybe later down like the road, if the album does good, maybe we can have more variants. But for now, it's just gonna be the one.
yeah. So
You
get the
know?
variant that you have. So they all sound the same. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if they're black, if they are pink. I'm sure you're not gonna put out a pink variant.
You never know.
You
Maybe
never
like
know. You never know. So
yeah.
future plans for Hypoxia that people can expect from this.
We definitely want to play some big shows. We don't have any shows booked right now. Hopefully we get some good offers after the album is released. We just want to make sure that the release goes well. And we're just gonna keep writing and hopefully put out a couple videos. And we're also gonna update our Bandcamp with the album and merch. We're gonna do shirts and stuff. So yeah, just keep playing, keep the train going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people, you heard it here. The Hypoxia album, Defiance, out on February 23rd. Get that and support old school death metal because I like old school death metal, especially in a live setting.
Yeah.
It's better in a live setting. It's not saying that the albums are bad, but when you listen to that music live, it really
Yeah. Well, that's
really
what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, an underground death metal band supposed to be playing shows. Unfortunately, because we're all in different cities now, it's really hard for us. But yeah, like same for us. There's nothing like when we get together and play and practice,
Yeah. So people support newer bands, and I'll put the link so you can pre-order the album. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you y buenas noches.